What's going on, everybody? This is Renegade #1, aka the Feminist Killer, #Logitorian. I want to talk about things that a lot of brothers are still battling with. And one thing I want to talk about is allowing your feminine energy to control you. Don't allow your emotions to control you as a spiritual being. When you are black pilled, you should be under control of the situation. While everybody else in the world panics, you remain calm. You've accepted your suffering. You've conditioned yourself to endure your suffering, right? And there was a brother that we no longer talk anymore, but it was just some brothers I would talk to who would address themselves as oh, I'm red pilled or I'm black pilled, but still you haven't transcended your blue pill conditioning, right? The key to becoming that next level of awareness, graduating to that butterfly, is transcending your blue pill condition. You cannot be irrational and expect yourself to understand the world. If you are still irrational, that's fine. If you are working to improve it, that's what really matters. If you're not working to improve and you're in denial, you don't want to hear anything different from the norm, then you'll never change. And my thing is, the worst thing to an individual, especially as a spiritual being, as a male, is your emotions. If you cannot get your emotions under control, you will never really experience true progression. And my thing is with that is, true progression comes with being in uncomfortable situations. Uncomfortable situations meaning doing things that you've never done before. And part of being black pill is truly not giving a fuck. You cannot give a fuck about things you used to care about in the past. You can't. Once you stop giving a fuck, you're not insecure about yourself. An insecure person will always be a slave to other people's opinions. They will always allow other people's perceptions and other people's opinions of them to dictate what they do because they are afraid of being judged. And you have to ask yourself, as you continue to grow, are you still struggling with insecurities? And why are you still struggling with insecurities? Why do you feel like talking about male things makes you feel gay? Why do you think talking about certain topics makes you feel uncomfortable? These are things that you have to shed. You should not be. The feeling of embarrassment will slowly recede. You should not feel any sense of embarrassment anymore because you are a spiritual being. The people around you are scared as fuck. They're scared of being judged. Those are people who are scared of getting out of their way. Your insecurities and, your low self-esteem, that is you standing in your own way of growth. You need to get the fuck out of your own way and allow yourself to grow. Okay? And there's brothers, that I thought were with me. They're not with me. Hey, fuck them. Who cares? And they know who they are. My thing is, you can be 50 years old, 40 years old, still battling with those same insecurities that you had when you was 17 years old. That's why age is not everything. I see people who are older than me still battling with insecurities. I still see people who are older than me that still can't handle, or they're not mature enough for a certain subject matter, And my thing is, as spiritual beings, we don't give a fuck about women anymore. We should allow that to go a long time ago. You should have never, I'll say this, You should never allow a female's opinion to control what you do in your life. Okay? You as a spiritual being, you are above this physical shit. You're above it. You know? My thing is you see something, you do it. If you feel a certain way, you say it. You know, look at it like this. When you die, you can't escape death. This is one thing I learned about being black pill. You cannot escape death. Death is going to come regardless. You can either live in this world and be a subordinate and do what you're told, or you can do what the fuck you want to do and die anyway. You're going to die anyway. Right? You have to decide, how do you want to live your life? Do you want to live it in a box? Do you want to live it being timid and scared of what other people think? Or do you want to actually, seek out the truth and think in an objective way, And I just think a lot of people, I think part of growing is, stepping out of that zone, stepping out of that box. And I think you would say that wisdom goes with age, but sometimes it doesn't. Some people stand in the same place for 30 years and they think because they're 30 years old or 40 years old or 50 years old that they're wise. But you stood in that one place for so long. Did you really grow though? Ask yourself that question. If you stand in the same place for decades, did you grow? But you got this person that's younger than you. They're moving in different places. They're experiencing different things, but they're still young. They are still blossoming. Now ask yourself that question. Did they grow? And my thing is, what do you define as growth? But as a black pillar, you have to keep yourself within black pill energy. You have to keep yourself within that 180 degree line of rationale. Keep yourself in that straight line focus. Keep yourself focused, right? You should not want to be around any feminine energy, any irrational behavior, because it's not going to do you any good in the long run. Some people, and like I said, man, this is not for everybody, because everybody doesn't want this. You have to realize that there are people that want to defend this system or this, the system of corruption. There's people that will never want you to be truthful. There are people that don't want me to awaken the masses, the men out there, the millions of men. They don't want them to be awakened. They want them to be naive and stupid. They want them to be blind followers, blind conformists. My thing is, you have to decide. You have to decide what you want to do. And if you genuinely want it, you don't give a fuck what gets in your way. My thing is, with this type of lifestyle, how much can you endure? My thing is, the thing I learned about Black Pill, I don't complain about my sufferings. I laugh at my sufferings. That's one thing that you have to learn to do as a Black Pillar, as a spiritual being. You have to learn to embrace your sufferings. Don't question why you don't have certain things that other people have. Most of these people, most of these blue pillars, most of these consumers, they're focused on their survival. They're focused on living. They're addicted to living a lavish lifestyle. My thing is, as a Black pillar, you will not be able to do that because your ideology is so powerful. Your ideology is so rebellious. And my thing is, you don't need to kiss ass to get money. You don't have to kiss ass to feel like you're superior. It's not the fit. I think the physical tangible goods, they create this false sense of power. They create the false sense of power. Like I was talking with a brother yesterday, having a gun does not make you powerful. Because if you have to depend on that object to make you feel powerful, then you're really not powerful. I'm powerful with and without resources, because it's the mind that's the mind is the true generator of the power. If you have an intelligent mind, if you have a strong mind, it will keep you that way. You shouldn't have to depend on external separate goods to make you feel that way. That means you're insecure about yourself. Find those uncertainties and explore those uncertainties and ask yourself, why do I feel this way? Why am I insecure about my sexuality? Why am I insecure about my masculinity? You know, kill all of that. Kill those questions. Answer those questions. Until you answer those questions, you will always, down the line, continuously search for whatever you're searching for. You know, and those are the type of people that will never change. Those are the type of people that don't want to do any introspection. Look within yourself. Put the mirror in your face. Ask yourself, what am I afraid of? Ask yourself, why am I afraid of being judged? And if you still struggle with those things, you are actually not black pilled. You know, if you are not putting it all on the line, you are not black pilled. If you still struggling to accept the truth, you are not black pilled. Create your thing is, though you're not black pilled and you may admit you're not black pilled, your objective should be, I need to transition to that energy. I need to gain that energy, gain that knowledge, gain that wisdom. Period. You know, and it's, again, change your attitude. If you have this defeatist attitude, that's what needs to change. If you have certain people in your corner that don't support the black pill energy, you need to change that environment, because your environment will dictate your perception. It will dictate your mentality. It will dictate what you do in your everyday life. You know, it's not about being popular. And like I said, a brother said this, shout out to Ace Supreme. Sometimes to be the hero, you got to be the villain. I'll say that again. In order to be the hero, you have to be the villain. Everybody in this world is corrupt and sick. Everybody. Everybody is infected with unhealthy ideas. My thing is, shed yourself of those unhealthy ideas and become the spiritual being that you were meant to be. That logical individual. Use your intuition. Again, as a man, I'm not saying you should not have emotions. That's not what I'm saying. As a man, you should be able to manage your emotions better than some vagina. Right? The vagina, she's going to be irrational. You know, and no one's going to check her on that, because that's the type of backwards society that we live in. But you as a man, if you are giving your woman your energy, you are still weak. You are still blue pilled. You understand? As a black pillar, you are a stone face. You have a stone face. You don't react like you used to. Control your reaction. If you're still reactionary to petty shit, minor things, you're still blue pilled. As a black pillar, you are numb to the fuckery of the world. You are numb to this shit. You accepted death. You already know that death is a positive thing. You already know that you're going to the fifth dimension, that you physically, you're going to perish. Yes. And you may go through a brief stint of pain, but guess what? After you leave this world, you're going to somewhere else. You know, spiritually, you have nothing to lose. You have everything to gain. It's not about, you may not have the physical goods. Like I said before, you may not have that shit. You don't need that shit. That shit is useless. It only invites other people to take advantage of you. You know, but you have to, one thing I know about being black pilled is You have to keep yourself self-motivated. You have to find a way to keep yourself boosted from an emotional standpoint, from a psychological standpoint. You have to keep yourself lifted. And I'm not talking about drugs. I'm not talking about alcohol, but from a healthy standpoint, you have to keep yourself focused. You have to keep yourself driving forward. Like I said before, you have to become a driving forward. You are no longer looking backwards. If you are continuously looking backwards, you're still blue pill. Part of being black pill is understanding that you are in a world of dysfunction and you can't be like that. Your job is to keep moving forward, keep fighting, don't become a part of the system, and save as many people as you can, but understand that at the same time, like I said in my recent video, most of these people are not savable. Understanding that as well. So I don't want you thinking I'm contradicting myself. You can save some people, but ultimately it's for the most part, it's a lost cause on a mass scale. You could probably save one person, two people, but that's it. But other than that, man, don't feel like you need to give up. Don't feel like you need to conform out of, necessity. Handle your business. Start sharing ideas with each other. And I will say this in every video I make from now on. We have to start exchanging phone numbers. We have to start talking on a personal level. Start bonding with one another. I think once black pill brothers bond together and we get a chance to meet each other, we get a chance to share ideas, then we become closer, and then we will want to fight for each other and die for each other. Look at it like this. If you've seen the movie 300, death for them was honor. And that's how it needs to be for us. We don't conform to other bullshit ideas. We go out on a positive note. We never surrender. No mercy. Those type of qualities are black pill qualities. Never give in. Be stern. Period. You shouldn't give a fuck what anybody thinks about you. Anybody. Especially if you know their credibility is not really valid. Okay? Be confident, but don't be arrogant. Take in knowledge from certain people. Everybody's not intelligent. Everybody's not designed to give advice. Period. I don't give a fuck if you older than me. I don't give a fuck if you younger than me. But if you knowledgeable, I can care less about how old you are. I really can. It's not about ego. There's people that still think because, I'm older than you by this amount of years and let me school you young cats. No, fuck all that. If it sounds like blue pill advice, I ain't listening to it. And that's the same mentality you need to adopt. Don't get it twisted out here. Just because you came out the vagina before me does not mean you smarter than me. I'll tell you right now. And that's the same mentality that you guys need to adopt. We have to have warrior mindsets. No mercy. We running everybody over. Okay? You either are with us or against us. It's that simple. But again, in order to get with the program, you have to check your inner self. You have to do that introspection, and you got to make sure you are on par with the black pill lifestyle. Figure out your dysfunction of your past. Fix that dysfunction. If you know you struggling with shit from the past, don't just try to mask it and hide it like it doesn't exist. Bring that motherfucker to light and fix it. Fix it. Fix your problems. And as spiritual beings, we have to talk about our problems. Not masking and hiding and running away from your problems doesn't fix the problem. If somebody can tell me this right now, tell me how running away from your problems or hiding your problems can fix it. If you can tell me that it can fix your problems, I'll shut the fuck up. But until then, bring your problems to light. Hiding does not fix. Hiding only prolongs the pain. It only prolongs the dysfunction. And that's the problem with the world that we live in. We so concerned with making people feel good and not actually focusing on what's the issue. You know, we have to be, you know, relentless, not weak. But that's the type of energy that we have to create, man. Creating that black pill energy. So I care about all of y'all. But again, there's some of y'all that will never get the message because again, you won't get out of your own way. That's the number one thing. Get out of your own way. But this is Renegade number 1. Like the video, share, subscribe. Peace.